The Artemis II crew has made history, breaking the record for traveling farther from Earth than any humans in history. Take a look at these spectacular images the crew captured while on the far side of the moon. As they prepared this morning to continue their voyage, they woke up to this message from one of the astronauts who paved the path they are now traveling. Listen.
Hello, Artemis II. This is Apollo astronaut Jim Lovell. Welcome to my old neighborhood. When Frank Borman and Bill Andrews and I orbited the moon on Apollo 8, we got humanity's first up-close look at the moon and got a view of the home planet that inspired and united people around the world. I'm proud to pass that torch on to you.
Passing the torch, indeed. CBS News senior national correspondent Mark Strassman joins me from the Johnson Space Center in Houston. Mark, walk us through this amazing day.
Yeah, it really has been amazing, Major. Both the pictures they've sent back and, of course, and today, just a series of highlights. They've already gone farther, deeper into space than anyone ever has. They passed Apollo 13's record when they essentially eclipsed the 249,000 miles from Earth milestone. That, of course, is significant. And now they are prepping for really what is one of the mission highlights, clear mission highlights, which is a loop around the Earth, loop around the moon, rather, the flyby. It's going to last for hours, but for 40 minutes while they're behind the moon, they will have no line of sight with Earth for their radio communications, which means radio silence. Radio silence for roughly 40 minutes. Everyone expects it. No one's particularly worried about it, but it's got to be an eerie feeling when 4 people are on one side of the moon and the rest of us are on the other side, and those two groups cannot talk to one another. So it's going to be an interesting period, and we're going to have a number of new images come back from the moon in time. The crew is expected to take 10,000 pictures of the far side of the moon while they're passing it. And it may be days before we get to look at those pictures, but they're going to see something that, in many cases, that we have never seen before.
And Mark, over the weekend, you had about 9.5 minutes to speak to the crew. And I loved the interview, every single word of it, so much so we're putting it on our podcast feed. So those many people who enjoy this show simply as a podcast will get to hear it later tonight. What was that like?
Well, it was a little unusual, obviously, Major. I'm sitting right where I am now. I set a personal long-distance record for an interview, right? It was 180,000 miles between me and the crew, and just the chance to talk to them and hear what their latest thoughts were. And here's a piece of that conversation.
In the end, for me, it leads back to gratitude. Gratitude that out of this huge universe, we get to live together on Earth, planet Earth. And what an anomaly that is. When I saw Earth for the first time on its own out the window, I was struck by the blackness around it. If you can just think about what it means to be together and what it means to be apart from your loved ones during that time and reflect on that, maybe we'll all come to a realization.
So these astronauts are professionals. This is a scientific expedition. But I've noticed, Major, that the farther they get from the Earth, the more deeply they have been stirred emotionally.
That's a great point, Mark Strassman. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it.